What's up, family? Gerald the Bossman here. You're tuned into the Bossman Show on AM 1010, AM 1430, 1055 The King. Let the King out at 105theking.com and the Bossman Show at bossmanshow.com. Hit me up on Instagram, The Bossman Show, Twitter at Bossman Show, and Facebook, Bossman Show. It's the Bossman on your radio.
Listen to the Bossman Show with your host, JR, Saturdays at 9 a.m. right here on AM 1010, The King.
What's up, good people? BetOnline is your number one source for all your betting needs. The latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use your promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Yes, BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV, covering content and hot topics from A to Z, sports, music, society and culture, movie reviews, you name it, we have it. Check it out on bs3network.com or check us out on Roku, BS3 TV on Roku, as well as check out your favorite podcast on all podcast platforms or Spreaker.com/BS3 Network.
You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
Gayle show. We're here, JR, Coach Gayle, and rocking our Golden Ram gear here on the show, looking dapper and fly, you know. And then, Coach, you have a new fan, or a little new young fan, Coach. He's a big fan of yours, Coach.
I'll take all the fans I can take, Coach. I can take all the fans I can take, so that's a good thing.
And Coach, that's on my heart, Coach, because I talked to one of my young mentees. And I learned, Coach, he don't know business. He don't know business, Coach, because I told him about a team in the Western Conference who offered me a job at $14,000 more than what I make now. He said he would take that.
At $14,000 more.
I said, if you are looking at gross only,
there you go.
That sounds good. I said, young man, that $14K is gone when I go to move there.
Yes, sir.
That's rent.
Yes, sir.
I'm losing money.
Unless you negotiated relocation.
But that's the key. That's not part of the deal. So I would have to pay for housing. So I lose. But the fact that just that minuscule number more made this young 20-something say, this is a good deal. I say, it's probably want to talk about business today, because I'm like, that's not good business. It's because it sounds good, don't mean it's good, or look good, don't mean it's good. Because $14K more sounds good on paper, but what about my rent?
Right.
Now I moved to that city if I took the deal. I'm losing money that I would be making being in my hometown.
The only thing that would help it is if you went to a state that did not have a state income tax.
The state didn't have income tax. Still would have screwed me.
Therefore, yeah, you go. because I'm learning the hard way because I live in a non-state income tax state, but I work in a heavily taxed
Yeah.
state.
Yeah. So I was like, the young man was like perplexed. I said, son, 14K don't ain't 14K, son. When you factor
Well,
in your rent.
well, JR, the problem is we're also living in a social media world where different things are put out there, but when you look into the facts and the details, it's not as what is being promoted. So that's how they get a lot of people too. They put the flashy things, but they don't. When you look into the fine print and the detail, you realize, like you said, you lose. So I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, because I'm like, I'm losing money. I don't lose any money in Atlanta. I
Right.
own where I live at.
Right. So it's going to be pretty tough to get you to move to go anywhere. And 14,000 ain't good enough.
Especially when it's already gone before I get started.
There you go.
You know? It's like, but coach, I had to spend 20 minutes or more trying to explain it to him, which is I'm like,
Well,
you're in your master's program in business and you don't know this.
well, it's good. Listen, that's awesome that you're giving them that real world, education. And let's talk about NIL because a lot of people don't realize that NIL affects your financial aid. So talk to the people about what financial aid is. Now, in our situation at a Division II, it's a little bit different than obviously, a high major, mid major Division I. But even with scholarships and even with financial aid, I don't think people realize cost of attendance is different from scholarship, what you think you're going to get as it pertains to your financial aid. So, what can you say about that?
Well, I'm going to use TSU as an example because I got the in-state rate because they have a radius of 250. And being over there on the west side, over there in Vine City, I was 3 miles away from the limit,
Mm,
247. So my tuition was
mm.
2586 with hope, 12 plus hours. So I was and plus I wouldn't got a PO box in Nashville anyway. I was good either way. Either way, I was going to say rate Tennessee State. Either way, it didn't matter. I already got me a PO box in Nashville. They could, oh yeah, I got a cell phone here, a boost phone, fools. That's my address. Screw you. But yeah, so like then you throw in the football scholarship for people, basketball scholarship, and football wise at the FCS level, you can split up scholarships. At best, you can't. It's just
Mm.
straight out what you are. That's what I was trying to tell somebody that you can split. If you take the in-state kids, you can split them and get, if it's 12,000, you can get two of them on that 12,000 scholarship and make your 63 scholarships expand. But FBS, you can't. So with Vanderbilt, it's just the 85 you got fully. You use it or you lose it. So now cost of attendance was not around when I was around. So I can't speak to that. I don't know about that. I just know about Hope, Pale, which I got Pale. So I had a nice little refund on my Com data card in September.
They still doing that?
Had a nice little refund
Yeah, they
check
still doing
in
that.
September on that Com data card. Yeah.
So for parents, obviously coaches know, but for parents that don't know, cost of attendance means not just tuition, not just room and board, but everything. Cost tuition, room and board for a regular student to attend the university. That's cost of attendance.
Gotcha. Okay. So, yeah. So, and I know at their best level, they have a cost of attendance adjustment they give them, the disbursement. Now, at D2 level, I don't know about the D2 level what happens, but I know the FBS level, they have a disbursement. Then they have a pool FCS level, a little bit of a pool. So, but when I was around, it wasn't really around. It was just, you had your whole Pale Parent Plus, which is being changed now after the big terrible bill that got passed. But I'm going to leave that alone. But it's going to affect how you can get loans now going forward. I know my income-driven repayment is going to change because there's this new bill that got passed. Because I pay $255 a month for my master's degree, but it's going to probably change now with the new situation. So how kids pay for school now is going to change, and you're going to have to really have that business mindset. And also, being the NIL money is taxed.
Yes.
And that's the day they don't understand it. That money's taxed. That's income, buddy. That is.
You. I'm not gonna go into your hustles, but I know you know tax laws very well. So, for example, then people know this. I got to see some teams this weekend, big time travel programs. One of them was Michael Brown Jr.'s travel program, and he's currently, a player, a very good player. Definitely on the NBA radar, but I'm staying in my lane. But I feel like he's probably going to be a very good NBA prospect. But he should have been the MVP, honestly, of the U19 Olympic games, or USA games. But he has a travel program. Talk to the people about why he would have a travel program, not just he's giving back to kids. And his travel program has some very good talent. But talk to people about why that would be a route to go if you are getting an NIL.
Because it's less hands involved. It's more straightforward. It's kind of like ain't really W-2 income. It's more like royalty income. It's more like 1099 income, independent contractor income. And because with the schools, you're going to have to go through some bureaucratic stuff with certain boosters, collectives, and things of that nature. Trying to give back, trying to give people a simpler way to advance. That's how I would put it. Now, me personally, I kind of stuck with who I knew at AAU and travel ball-wise because of who my dad knew, rather, because he wasn't going to let me play for any old body. You know what I'm saying? So I think now, that's a whole nother show right there. I feel like some kids are too extended with AAU and travel teams right now, and I'll see a late point this week as well. When I go up there this week, I'll be late point. So I tell you what, Coach, the financial literacy, financial understanding is paramount now when you're getting wads of money that you don't know what you're doing to do what you do with.
Yeah.
Especially when it's being taxed. Like, let's say you were at St. John's, you're in New York. That's a horrible tax.
Yes. Yes.
If you're in Miami, you're not taxed on your money.
Correct.
So I wonder when kids get smarter in NIL and say, do I go for the boom number or do I go for the net? I'm a net person.
Right.
I'm not.
Most people aren't, though. Most people don't think about it's the net you have to look at more so than anything.
So that's where I come in. I'm a net guy. That's why that's pretty much what the boy that I'm saying to this young man was this morning, Coach. I'm a net dude. Gross don't impress me.
Right.
Like in free agency at the NBA or in the NFL, signing with your Orlando Magic at a certain number is just as good as signing with the Knicks at a certain number because your money you're going to lose. Because NBA players are taxed everywhere they play at. So 41 nights a year, you're taxed in Orlando, then you throw in Miami. That's 42 nights a year. Well, you're playing for the New York Knicks or the Nets. That's New York. Yes, you're getting destroyed. So I can give you an example. I remember when the Heat got Lamar Odom they were trying to get him from the Lakers, and they offered him a contract. It was like, well, 3 for 27 is similar to 4 for 32 in LA. You actually may come out on top 3 for 27. The number sounds more, but when you look at the taxes in Miami, he would have came out better being a Miami player. So I understand in taxes and income taxes, job taxes, like Tennessee at one time had a job tax. So you play the Grizzlies or the Titans or the Predators, you pay a job tax. And they repealed it since then because this is what it was. Say if you're on the practice squad, Coach, that could be your whole check.
Wow.
if you're a practice squad player. Now, if you're making the millions, it don't matter. So that's why some of these job taxes are regressive taxes, because the more you make, let's say it impacts you.
Right.
So Tennessee did. That's one good thing them sorry suckers did. They did repeal that. Sorry suckers in that stupid state. But so that's one thing they did right from once. But like when you play Atlanta Hawks or the Falcons, that's 8% income tax.
Right.
So you have to understand tax law and understand income tax percentages, and where you retire at, because that's taxed as well. And I'm not trying to be your financial advisor today, but if I was anybody, I would do a Roth 401k. So I'm taxing the front end, not the back end. Just saying.
Because you're gonna get taxed. it's about tax write-offs and where you're taxed.
Yes. So for me, I wouldn't go to a team to where I'm getting income taxed. I'm just not doing that.
So then you know me, coach. I don't know anything. I'm just a Division II coach, right? So I don't know anything. Why do these other teams, especially these big market teams that have, like you said, New York and California probably have the most
Worse.
yes. Me being a native New Yorker, trust me, I know. So they can get top talent. So how do they get not so much the big time names, but how do they get those guys that can choose all these teams? How do they get them to get those veterans to choose those minimum veteran deals or those mid-level deals? How do they get those guys?
What I've learned is that these guys don't care until it's over. That's what I've learned.
That's something profound you just said.
In the moment, they don't care. They look at it, when they look back and they crazy over it, they talking about, well, dang, they realize I could have signed here for here and saved me some money on the front end and blah. In the moment, these guys are in the moment. They don't think about finances in the moment. They just think about glitz and glam and being seen.
So it's kind of like they're in school still, in college. Because in the moment, college kids don't really look at that.
Yeah. Yeah. I've had vets tell me after the fact, man, I lost so much money signing here. If I just signed here, I could have got more money. And cause see, they don't think about after basketball, when the basketball starts bouncing for them. They don't think about that. They think about in that moment. And that's where they get screwed.
Right.
And that's the problem. Since I grew up poor, every dime I count.
I've always had a business mind though.
Yeah. Every dime
Well,
I count.
I was kind of hinted towards having an LLC as opposed to a nonprofit, because that's something that I learned while I was in my master's program. And there are benefits, there are pros and cons to having an LLC. There's pros and cons to having a nonprofit. So I just wanted you to kind of touch on that a little bit, because the thing is that big lump sum payment is important, but it's all about, like you said, how you're getting taxed, and are you getting taxed in the front end, the back end, and how you can kind of protect some of that lump sum.
Yeah, like for me, I'd rather you sue my business. I'd rather you sue my business than me personally take my stuff. There's a difference between nonprofit and LLC or S corp or those things. You can get, if you say, like, if it's not an LLC, they can sue you directly. So that's why I'd rather you sue my business and sue me directly. Have that buffer between me and my businesses. You know what I'm saying? So I've always been an LLC and Roth 401k guy. That's just the better way to go tax wise, and better way to go just longevity of your money wise, because you don't look like that just now. The tax laws just changed again. It can change again down the road. It can be more. It's a gamble.
They will. I'd
rather just get taxed now and be over.
Right.
They
will change.
So I just take and on my W-2, I don't take any deduction either. Just take it, whatever you don't take. I don't want to play the game in the year where I'm owing you for your criminal enterprise work. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to owe you for that because you criminals, you misuse my money. So that's how I feel about it, Coach. So, and also I ain't gonna get into my personal return, but there's a loophole I use to where I'm advantaged. I'll put it like that. And I ain't gonna. And moving teams may harm that loophole I have. So
Don't give him too much now. Don't give him
oh,
too
I'm
much
not.
now.
I'm just gonna talk to you in code. I'm gonna talk to you in
Trust
code
me.
because
Trust me.
because why you doing that?
Hey, don't give certain people the blueprint so they can use it against you.
100%.
Great advice.
Yeah.
Great advice that we heard from a good friend.
Yes. We don't want these clowns and moons knowing things who are not business. Not your brother.
I have no idea what you're talking about right now. So for everybody, I don't know what he's talking about.
Hey, Coach, I don't know why.
Don't put my name with what he says. I have no idea what he's talking about.
Hey, Coach.
I was talking about LLCs and nonprofits.
Yes, but yeah,
and
Coach,
I wanted to go into trusts.
Yeah.
So that's what Patrick Gayle is talking about, trying to educate parents who will have sons and daughters that will get these lump sum payments, how crucial it is to educate yourself so that your son and daughter can protect their money.
Exactly. And also, Coach, with that lump sum of money, you got to be careful about that too, because if they do disbursements, you can get taxed. You're going to get taxed once. So you got to decide, do you want to get taxed once or get taxed over 6 months? Now, for me, if I was NIL kid right now, pay me lump sum money.
Absolutely.
So if you get mad, you can't, there's money already given to me. But
that's the one thing I've learned, because that was the question. So here, let me pose this question to you, since this has turned into a financial literacy class. So this was my first question, my first day of my MBA program. Is it better? Let's say you win the lottery. Is it better? And getting an NIL deal is winning the lottery. Is it better to get a lump sum payment, or is it better to get payments? And you just touched on why I believe in lump sums always.
Even though Bobby Bonilla gets $1 million every July, whatever.
And I wanted to talk about that as well, because I thought about that. So why did he do that way?
Because it's interest on the money.
Say that again. So you have tax and you have interest.
So that money, he's getting a disbursement $1 million every July. But my thing about that is, I get why he did it back in the day. He did it. I get that, the deferments. But my thing is, tomorrow ain't promised. That's why I wouldn't do it. But in his time, and when that's a hell of a deal for him. When the time he got that deal of that deferment. But 99% of the time, give me everything up front. Tomorrow ain't promised.
But you know what, though? With that said, if you don't know how to save, and if you're not well educated, not saying he is, so please don't say that I say that. But what I'm saying is, in general, then you're protecting yourself getting those payments in the future.
Yes.
But you also touched on the lesson that lottery example was teaching, was the time value of money. So $1 in 1999 is not equal to $1 in 2029. And I don't think most people realize that.
Correct. Inflationary stuff. So, it's really crazy. I have no shame in my game. I shop at TJ Maxx, Marshalls, and Kohl's, and high-end Goodwills. I don't care about name brands.
No, sir. That's an easy way to lose your money.
I wear Skechers slip-ins, people. And Stacey Adams slip-ins from K&G. Just saying. On Mount Zion Boulevard, Clayton County, Clayco.
Does that hurt your dating life, JR?
Hell yeah. I'm gonna get your swag up. I'm gonna get my paycheck up. I'd rather buy Nike stock than Nike shoes.
Yo.
Yes, coach, it has affected my because oh my God, you got on some Calvin Klein. You're not wearing Jabot and well, no, wear that garbage. I ain't paying for no Jabot. I don't care about a Jabot or whoever the heck that is. I just care about saving my money. And that's why I did not switch to Geico, by the way.
That's that's another thing. Sometimes, in some cases, you can get, and I know there are a few players that would love to get equity in the team or stock equity in whatever company, as opposed to, or in addition to, financial payments. Talk about that a little bit. Why would that be important?
Well, they don't let that happen in any leagues I deal with, but
They won't. And there's a reason for that.
yeah, because they want to keep you as the paid entertainment. You're up and down the field for their consumers who hate you anyway, which is why, Coach, I am sickened by what I saw this past weekend.
Well, wait a second. Whoa, wait a second now. You're taking yourself out of that. Based on what you're saying, you're a part of that, sir. But you're independent in other things.
Yeah, like for me, I would never buy stock in a certain employee that I have because I don't believe in certain things. I would never do that. I prefer AI stock, tech stock, stuff like that, because I prefer getting properties. And one thing I know about real estate is the tax lien auctions. That's something that I've talked about in the past. That I got two homes I bought from tax lien auctions on the courthouse steps and got me two homes for nothing. So
And I'm glad you touched on that, because that's how I grew up. My father was a realtor and a real estate broker, and he amassed a lot of fortune, especially back when I grew up in New York, in real estate. And I have brothers that are in real estate and family that's in real estate. If for those that don't understand about the Gayle name in New York, or you look up Gales in Brooklyn in real estate, you'll know. And that's my family name. So that's, to me, I've always been taught that's the real value. Like land, real estate, that's real money. That's like actual gold. So, money can be funny. Now you got, cryptocurrency and all that, but the real currency from the beginning of time has always been land and real estate.
yeah, I'm proud to say I own 4 homes. I'm proud to say that.
Yeah,
So
that's huge.
I'm setting on money whenever I
Well,
want to get
I
in.
want people to understand you own 4 banks. That's not just homes. That's 4 banks. That's huge.
So yeah, while I'm not out here wearing name brand clothes, I got stuff that or appreciate. That's called appreciation in value, not depreciation.
Well, it's cool because I did a lot of recruiting this week, and I won't mention any names, but there's a former player that I asked about that we knew coming out of high school that played Division I basketball, and they're working for a very reputable person that I didn't even realize owned a real estate company, and he's working as a realtor for that company. So for I kind of want to end the show by saying, for all the parents and for all the players that are fortunate enough to get opportunities in NIL, um, real estate, understanding tax laws, understanding LLC and nonprofits, understanding net versus gross, all of that can lead to generational wealth. There's no reason why NIL shouldn't lead to generational millionaires if you're doing the right things and if you understand what you're doing. It's not just about bouncing the ball. It's about understanding, taking this opportunity, and someone's giving you something and they're figuring out ways to get it back. And they trust me, they know very, very many ways to get it back. You have to figure out ways to not just keep it in the community, but allow it to lead to bigger things in the community.
No doubt, Coach. You said it well there, and Last thing I'll say before we wrap it up, Coach. Folks, quit being fanboys. Seriously. You're in the media. You ain't gotta be a fanboy. You gotta push propaganda for access. Don't tell me signing somebody's eighth player and something they don't play and an injured dude is gonna make somebody better. Don't tell me that ever in your life and think I'm gonna respect your basketball opinion. And I don't respect your opinions. I'm tired of y'all getting little podcasts spewing out propaganda, being fanboys and fangirls. Analyze the game for once in your life. Know what you're talking about. Don't just talk in platitudes or broadness. Tell me how an eighth player, a sucker that don't play, and a hurt dude gonna make somebody better in real time. Propaganda. Tell me. Yeah, you're sorry, you fool. And if you call me this week, I'm gonna clown you too. Don't even meet me people if you call me. Tell me what's going on. Don't worry. What I say will come to fruition. Because I know basketball. I know certain things. And I know who's the head of the snake. And I know what that leads to. Nothing. Okay? So remember that, you suckers out here in the streets. Anything else you got, Coach? I'm going to get off my chest.
The views of the Patrick Gayle Show are not from Patrick Gayle. But you know what, man? I appreciate, I always end my show saying, I appreciate you and what you do. I appreciate you caring enough about, there's a lot of people out there that are blessed enough to be getting some money, even if it doesn't have to be in the millions, doesn't have to be in the 100,000s. You can take 2,000, 5,000. There are some Division II programs that do give NIL that money, or you can get your Pell back. And Pell is huge. That money can be used to change your family. So just understand, like you said, JR, understand financial literacy. And it's not about the next 4 years. This is me, Coach Gayle speaking. When I recruit, I say it's never about the next 4 years. It's about the next 40 years.
No doubt. We'll wrap it up there. So with Coach Gayle, JR, we'll be back next week here on the Patrick Gayle Show on your radio.
BS3 Network. Changing the way you watch TV.
Yes, BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV, covering content and hot topics from A to Z. Sports, music, society and culture, movie reviews. You name it, we have it. Check it out on bs3network.com or check us out on Roku, BS3 TV on Roku, as well as check out your favorite podcast on all podcast platforms or Spreaker.com/BS3 Network.
You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
What's up, good people? Bet Online is your number one source for all your betting needs. The latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. Bet Online continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use your promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet Online, where the game starts. What's up, family? Jared the Bossman here. You're tuned into the Bossman Show on AM 1010, AM 1430, 1055 The King. Check The King out at 105theking.com and the Bossman Show at bossmanshow.com. Hit me up on Instagram, The Bossman Show, Twitter at Bossman Show, and Facebook, Bossman Show. It's the Bossman on your radio.
Listen to The Bossman Show with your host, JR, Saturdays at 9 a.m. right here on AM 1010, The King.